if this is true for you, as it is true for me, it may not be true, but for a lot of people, we find it harder to receive than we do to give. There's a lot of reasons why that could possibly happen. You know, we hear a lot of ethics in our culture that emphasize giving over receiving. But the fact of the matter is, as living beings, we can't go without receiving. So in this, the third part of our series on giving and receiving, we want to talk about exclusively or specifically more about this idea of receiving and what it entails. And as I am delivering this message to you, I'm also delivering this message to myself because I'm one of those kind of individuals that finds it very difficult to receive. I find that in the course of my life, I'm constantly in the mode of giving, and I enjoy it because I love to give. I think I'm a caretaker by nature, but sometimes it's important to remember to be on the receiving end on that which I am giving. And it's interesting in Monique's affirmations, one of the affirmations involved receiving back what I'm giving, because the root word of the word receive is a Latin word, recipio, which literally means to take back, to give, to get back. Isn't that interesting? To get back, to take back. Now, one of the things that's very important to understand is that whether we realize it or not, we are natural receivers. We are born to receive. As a matter of fact, there can be no successful, fulfilling life without receiving. One of the things that I often do and that I don't do enough is I have a very favorite park that I like going to. And I like to go to this park to pray and to meditate and just kind of walk the trails of the park, you know, just to get some solace and some solitude and kind of be with myself and be with my own thoughts. I know many of you like to take walks in your neighborhood and different places. Just think about all the ways upon which you receive when you do that. First of all, if you're walking in the daytime, like there's a pretty sunlight out right now, you can walk and you can enjoy the sunlight. But what you may not be aware of, unless you're kind of up to speed on nature and on health, is that as you are in the sun, you are receiving very life-giving vitamin D from the sun. None of our attempts to reproduce our vitamin D through our food is as pure as the vitamin D that comes to us from the sun. As we're breathing, as we're walking, we're taking breaths. So as we breathe, we are taking in the oxygen, the life-giving oxygen from the trees and the plant life. So we're receiving. I want to take a poll in here. How many of you all, by show of hands, how many of you all eat from time to time? Hey, there are some people in the world that claim to be breatharians, where they get all their nutrients from breathing. I've never met one, but hey, if you eat, you take advantage of the bounty of nutrients that come from Mother Earth. So we go to the earth and we get the nutrients either in raw form or in forms that we can eat directly, and we take that in for nutrients and substance. I don't think anybody in here is going to skip out on eating. If you do, let me know, because I want to know how that goes. But we're constantly taking in substance. We're constantly taking in nutrients. We're constantly taking in things that are good for us and that are healthy for us and that sustain our lives. Now, this next picture here, I love this picture. I'm going to end up framing it one day and putting it up in my office. That is a picture of a cresting wave. Now, just for an exercise, I want to ask, what does the wave receive from the ocean? What does the wave receive from the ocean? Well, first off, it receives its being. Because if there's no ocean, there's no water that can be crested up by winds and whatever other forces go into it to make a wave. So it receives its being. It receives its attributes from the ocean. Because that which comprises the water of the ocean is also present in the wave. So that wave has the same capacity as the ocean, only in a localized form. That wave receives its existence. It receives its support from the ocean. Because again, if there's no ocean, there can be no wave. The water in the wave, if I were right alongside that wave and in the cresting water, I could scoop it in a bucket. That same water that's in that bucket that made that wave has the same potentiality as the water in the ocean. It's not as vast. It cannot have an effect as wide. But I can purify that water and drink it. I can pour it on my plants in my garden. I could wash with it. So the same potentiality as the ocean has, the wave has. So we can say that the wave is in the ocean, but in a more real sense, the ocean is in that wave. That's a pretty good metaphor that I love to refer to as characteristic is our relationship to the divine. Through the divine, through God, we get our being. Through God, we get the attributes of God expressed in us as a localized form. The divine takes a piece of its life, focuses it, localizes it, and expresses it and manifests it as your beautiful self. And you are beautiful. You know I love to smooze you guys. You're very beautiful. And that's because you are an outpicturing of the very presence of God. So you are receiving life. You are receiving being. You are receiving substance. You are receiving your attributes. You are receiving your potentiality. You are receiving your very breath from your source, which is God the good, omnipotence. So you're constantly receiving. And because we have that natural relationship with the divine, we naturally receive divine guidance. We receive inspiration. We receive life, constantly feeding into us, rushing, pouring, and streaming into us. So you are a receiver. You are born to receive. So since you are born to receive, you might as well take a deep breath and accept it. You might as well embrace it. You might as well expect it because it's divine law, and make the most of the receiving experience. In 2 Corinthians, in the next slide, we'll go to this chapter. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. So for every good work that you desire to do, for everything noble, high, holy, and just that you seek to manifest in the world, there is an abundance for you to fortify you, to strengthen you, to resource you, so that you can go about doing your good work, whether it's connecting with other people, whether it's manifesting your dreams, whether it's doing something that is of service to humanity or service to where you live locally in your community, or just simply being alive. There is an abundance for you that will fortify and strengthen you so that you can receive it, so that you can live a very fulfilled, blessed, and nurtured life. So, again, we might as well receive. We might as well receive in a high and holy way. And so, to start the process of doing that, we want to receive in gratitude. We can expect to receive, but never take receiving for granted. Always have always have an aura about you to where everything that comes to you, you express gratitude for it. Get into the practice of actively speaking the word of gratitude so that you condition your consciousness to be grateful to receive all good things. And by being grateful, it opens us up to the divine flow. You have a lot of people in your life that love you and cherish you and bless you and support you. Never take people for granted. When I was ill a few weeks ago, and I was, resting and trying to build myself up back into health, my wife was there every step of the way, and she was feeding me and nurturing me and loving me and blessing me back into health. And all throughout the process, I kept thanking her. I said, "Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for taking care of me." And her response each and every time without fail, like clockwork, was, "You're welcome, but you don't have to thank me." Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because she could have chose not to. She was doing it out of a sense of obligation. I'm looking at it from a sense of blessing. This woman is here feeding me and nurturing me and speaking words of life into me to bless me back to health. I'm not taking that for granted. I'm going to be in gratitude. And we should be in gratitude about all the people in our lives. I want to do an experiment. I told you, Sam, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to do a gratitude experiment. How about each and every one of us, let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to take a couple of minutes to call to mind all of those people in your life that loved you into being. Take a moment and reflect upon those people right now. Whoever they are, wherever they came about on your journey. Reflect upon it, on those people, in the silence. As you bring those folks into view, really allow yourselves to feel a sense of gratitude. Grateful for the divine, for blessing you with these wonderful, beloved people. Express gratitude for each person that you call to mind. And even maybe those folks that didn't come to mind, that did bless you and love you into being. And from the deepest recesses in your heart, send these people, send these beloveds a silent blessing. And affirm silently that wherever they are, God is, and all is well. And when you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes and come back to this place in this space. Did you think about all those beautiful people that flowered and blessed your life? Does it move you to a sense of gratitude? That's the type of gratitude that we should have when it comes to receiving every good thing that we receive in our lives. Do so from a place and a space of gratitude. And from that place and space of gratitude, seek to embrace the receiving that you get and make the greatest and most use of the things upon which you receive. Make the greatest and most use. Since you are a breathing being, how about blessing yourself every now and then and taking some deep breaths, taking some deep bowel expanding, stomach expanding breaths? Because most of the time, our breaths are very shallow because we're not really focused on breathing. So we can maximize the whole breathing experience. If you're going to be in the sunlight, bathe in it sometime. Bask in it. Just lay out in the sun and allow the healing rays and the light of the sun to just infuse you with its nutrients. When you come into the presence of your loved ones, don't just give them passing attention. Put all other things to the side and embrace your loved ones and give them your undivided attention. Really soak in their presence and soak in their being. Soak them in because they are there to love you. They are there to bless you. They are there to enrich your lives. So maximize all that comes to you. Be open and available for unexpected blessings. When someone does something nice for you, whether it's as simple as opening a door for you when you walk into a convenience store or a retail store, or someone gives you a kind word and says something wonderful to lift you up, or you get an unexpected blessings of a gift of some sort. Be grateful for that. Look the person in the eye and express gratitude to the divine for what it is that you are receiving. And to really maximize your receiving, as we talked about last week, get into a consciousness of giving. Get into a giving spirit and give freely. Because being an agency of God expressing in human form, you are present and available to receive as well as to give, to be blessed as well as to bless others. So maximize your giving and give freely and give from a sense of cheer and love and abundance. And that stimulates the receiving process. You don't necessarily give with the mindset that I'm going to get. I'm giving from the mindset to expand love, maximize love, to bless those that are around me. And as a natural byproduct of the law of giving and receiving, you get to receive bountifully, beautifully, wonderfully. You are receiving beings, so don't shy away from receiving. The key is don't take the receiving for granted. Expect it, but don't take it for granted. There's a difference in those things. Receive graciously. And here's something else. And as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. When you posture yourself in a way to where you deny the receiving that you get, you are denying the divine an opportunity to fortify and bless your life, and you are denying the people in your life that are seeking to give to you the joys that come from giving. So it is a way of blocking the divine flow. It's like turning on the water faucet and having a cup, but turning that cup upside down. So nothing is contained. Everything is splashing off to the sides of the sink. So turn the cup right side up, and allow yourself to receive all that life has for you. And if you are able to do that, it will make for a bountiful, wonderful, a beautiful life. As always, I hold you all in the deepest part of my heart, in very sacred space. And into that space, I speak a word of prayer. Life, light, and love to you all. God bless you.